Hello everyone and welcome back to The BIZNIZ. I'm your host Nizar Ashraff, and today I've got another very exciting conversation for you all. I'm here today joined by Emiko, the man himself. Guys, this guy's got talent. He can sing, he's got soul. Like when I tell you this guy's music, something else. You're literally something special, bro.
Thank you, man.
But yeah, before we even just get into your music, your artistry and everything that you do, how are you doing today?
Today I'm good, man. You know, we've got a bit of sunshine coming out now after weeks of rain. So that's kind of definitely having a positive effect on my mood. So yeah, I'm feeling good,
Yeah, honestly, we thank God for the sunshine, man. So, yeah, okay. So your EP, Peace of Mind.
Yes.
Now this is a bad boy EP. I'm not even gemming it. Like when I came across you, I asked one of my boys. I was like, who can I interview? I want someone quite creative. And he sent me a bag of people, but you were the first person, and there was like 10 people. I was like, yeah, him. I want to speak to him. But yeah, since the weeks of just discovering your music,
Yeah.
passion. Like honestly, your music is just, I think it's relatable, and I can really see that storytelling come through in your music. Like you really take people on a journey emotionally as well as just singing. You know, sometimes you listen to music and it's like you just hear it and it's just fun.
Yeah.
But I can see there's something behind this. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So just speak to me quickly about Peace of Mind.
Yes. So Peace of Mind obviously is like my first project that I put out into the world last year. Peace of Mind actually means, Emiko means peace of mind, but peace as in like P-E-A-C-E. But then for the EP, I really did want to give the audience pieces of me at different moments in my life. So if you listen to the tracks, you know, there's music about letting go of your pride. Then there's music about love or
Yeah.
unrequited love or giving up on love. And then there's music about just being carefree, feeling yourself. So these were all segments of my life. And so I wanted to give pieces of that. And it was just ironic that it had a dual meaning. So pieces of me, peace of mind, as in P-I-E-C-E is the name of the EP. And then peace of mind, that's what my name means. And I feel like, you know, for me, names are so powerful, especially having like that African heritage. Like every single name that you're given is very intentional. You know? And it was just crazy to see how that name sort of manifested into my life, because what I was searching for, which was peace, I had to figure out that it was already within me. And that was through conversation with my mum and just talking about what my name means. And I was going through such, like, put it simply, I was depressed.
Yeah.
But having that aha moment, like, oh my God, like I'm searching for peace, but it's here. You just need to find it.
Yeah.
So that's how I came up with the name, and then it just created this body of work. And so yeah.
That's hard. That's hard. And I really like the artwork for the EP as well. You can literally see, like, I think that's when I clocked, okay, it's actually piece, like pieces of your mind, because you can literally see it in
Like
the
a
artwork.
puzzle,
Yeah, where did that, how did you like come to even think of that?
I knew that because I wanted it to be pieces of me, it was just natural that, you know, the mind is where you store all your thoughts, all your feelings, from your happiest moments to your darkest moments. And I'm basically giving you a chunk. Not all of it, because I don't think the world could handle everything that's going on in here. So a piece. And, you know, all the stuff that I'm dealing with now or having to deal with now stems from your childhood.
Right.
Whether it's trauma, whether it's your interactions with people, whether it's all these different things that when you're a child, you don't really think it's the groundwork from when you're an adult. So that's why, you know, if you look at the artwork, it's a younger version of myself. Because my younger version is the reason why I am here today, who I am today, why I feel certain things. So that was very important to me.
Yeah, so as I was saying anyway, music is something that I feel is storytelling.
Yeah.
And just even with you saying that, you know, each track is like you're given a piece of you, it seems like what I can just infer from that was, you know, even just in the creation process, what was that like? Because I know that when, as a creative, when you do put something out, it's almost like it's healing in some kind of way, like it's therapy to the soul. Do you feel that way with your music?
Yes and no. I feel like the music there can be healing because you're kind of writing down everything that you're feeling, but the healing actually starts with the work that you do. Because I can write a song about wanting to take care of myself more, about self-care. I can write about it. I can be like, I'm gonna cream my face, I'm
Yeah.
gonna have a massage.
Yeah.
If I don't do it, then it doesn't really make sense. That's why I say yes and no. But I think emotionally and spiritually, in that sense, yeah, it's healing because at least it's coming out
It's an
as opposed
outlet.
to staying in. And if you're not an expressive person to begin with, then, you know, the music element can help. The irony is that I'm quite an expressive person, but when it comes to more personal things, I'm more comfortable expressing that through the means of music. So I really kind of took advantage of that and said, look, even like coming to bring the tracks together, like picking and choosing, it wasn't about, all right, okay, so this day I'm going to the studio, I'm gonna create this track and that track's gonna be, you literally just have to let life happen. Because if I'm gonna write a body of work that's about pieces of my life, I need to let life happen. So that was the approach I took. And once I took that approach, it just started to, like the puzzle in the artwork, it just started to piece together.
Yeah.
That's why like the actual EP, there's so much behind it. Like it's manifestation, it's my life, it's my journey. And because it was my first sort of introduction to the world, I did want it to be as personal as possible, so that people can know who I am, know who Emiko is behind the singer, because I am a person behind the music, you know.
And who are you behind the music?
Behind the music, I'm someone who loves people. I'm a people person, and I feel like, you know, that's probably why there's that sweet spot that I get with the music when I'm on stage. It's like, not only am I singing to people, I'm actually connecting with them. I always say like on stage it's a 50-50 reciprocal situation, you know. Sometimes you can give out as much as you get, and when you find that balance, it's like the best feeling ever, because, you know, you are creating this little space for the audience as well. Because remember, you perform live, sometimes you're in an enclosed venue, so it feels like you're out of the world. And so what I try to do is make them feel that way, so that by the time that they're ready to go back out into the world, it's like, whoa, like you've experienced those two things. And they give me that back as well. So
Okay, yeah, I think that's sick. It's literally like, because in my life, you know, I've done performing arts, so that moment where you are on stage is kind of like a thrilling moment. You're able to release, I guess, those things that are inside of you, the things that you've been working on, and seeing the fruit of it when you are performing and how connected you are with the audience is another thing. And it's almost something you just take pride in. You take pride in that moment. Do you know what I'm saying? But moving just on from that to some extent, with your fan base, you know, we're now living in an age where social media really propels and advances, you know, a lot of people's careers. And, you know, a lot of the greats, you know, they weren't in a time where there was social media. So literally they get signed to the record label, music videos come out on the channels and all that stuff. How has it been like for you, you know, trying to get things done, but with social media? Yeah, if you understand what I'm saying.
yeah, I feel like in my experience, the best that I could have possibly done, which I did, is just be myself online, how I am. And then people see that, and then they connect that to the music. So I remember I really pretty much started doing music 2018, 2019. And it first started off, obviously I didn't have any music out, so I was doing like this thing called Friday Feels. Every Friday, I'd do like a freestyle, sometimes it was on top of like a well-known beat, always like writing my own lyrics. And then that just became a thing, and I started to get like a following. People were looking forward to the Friday, and there was always like a positive message to go with it. And then I didn't know at the time that what I was doing was building a fan base and building people that will actually, they're core fans. So I remember I had my EP launch party last year. I didn't know what to expect. I even picked a venue with an ambitious number at the time, because I was still like only like a year or two into the game. Venue was like 300 plus people, that was the capacity, and it was packed out. And I remember being on stage, and then I could see like certain individuals that you follow me, I know you, but I don't know you. And you realize like they're all following you on this journey from when, you know, I was just like freestyling on Instagram, and now I'm on stage and I've got a project out, and this is all within a year or two. So that for me is why I say, like, even like with followings, you can't get too wrapped up in it, because
That's good.
some people have loads of followings and then nobody's actually, like, the conversion rate, like who's actually coming to your show.
Yeah.
So as long as you can get that core audience, especially for an independent artist, that is like the best starting
It's important.
point. because that's going to help you travel far. It's going to keep you here. It's going to give you longevity as well.
And just in terms of, you know, your fan base and, you know, you just saying that that's like your core audience kind of thing, how do you manage to maintain that relationship with your fan base?
Yeah, a few ways. I think consistency.
Yeah.
So obviously you're not always going to be releasing music. So what else are you putting out in the meantime? Like, who are you? Obviously be mindful of how much you share. I think that's so important as artists as well. You don't want to give too much of yourself, because it's like, it's already a giving job. But as long as you can have that transparency, like, I'm the type of person that will comment.
Yeah.
If you comment me, I'm going to respond back. I'm going to show you love the same way you show me back. And that goes a long way, because it's like, you know, you're understanding that these people are here for you, so be there for them as well.
It's true too, and I think everyone can really learn something by really, you know, if you want to use social media and you're using it to network, it's not a big deal to comment on someone's photo to show love. Like, these are literally the small things that really help you with your interactions and your online engagement as well. So I think that's like really, really important. So in terms of, you know, your music, who are like your musical influences? Because when I'm listening to you, I really like, I'm like, okay, yeah, definitely R&B, there's soul. I get some Motown vibes from you. Like, I think the thing with your music is I really see how you've kind of incorporated the old and the new. Like, you've got this fresh, relevant feel to your sound that is just unique. Because when I was listening, I was like, damn, like, I love old school music personally, like R&B, soul, those are like my favorite genres.
Yeah.
So when I'm listening to you, I'm like, raw, like, this guy, you're really taking me somewhere. Like, I'm feeling like I'm listening to old school music, but there's that fresh feel as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. For me, there was just something so unique and special about music from the past. And, you know, growing up, I was listening to music in reverse. So I was young, but in secondary school, everyone's listening to, I don't know who the latest rap artist is or whatever was current. But I was always just listening to old school music. And then as I got older, then it was more of the fresh, current stuff. So people like Otis Redding, Al Green, and then some of the greats like Whitney, Michael Jackson, Lauryn Hill for like lyricism. So these are the artists that I kind of grew up listening to. And as I got older, I started to kind of incorporate more of the current artists. But yeah, for me, like, it's not about, when I look at these artists, for them, it's not just about the singing, it's about the way you sang it and how you sang it and why you were singing it.
That part.
You have some artists who, for example, Whitney Houston, she didn't really write a lot of the music, but she sang it like she did. And she sang it to a point where you would believe that she wrote it, and that's because it's coming from here. So that's why I always take away from these like legends, like start with here and then the rest will follow.
When you say that, like, I really think of someone like Brandy, because as a singer, I feel like she's very seasoned in relation to, like, she can sing, but she does so much with her voice. Like the way she can just stretch and hold and
it makes you feel something. You know? It's not just there for vibes. You know? Those little runs, it does something to you, like spiritually. So I try to, like, you know, when I'm honing in on my craft, like, those are the things that I'm concentrating on the most.
So let's even talk about the lockdown experience, because I know that with Peace of Mind, your EP, I think you released it March 2020. Am I wrong?
No, you're right. March the 3rd, yeah.
Amazing. My research did me well. But yeah, so you released it just literally, I think, a few weeks after lockdown.
No,
Did that
a few
have
days.
a few
crazy,
days?
Crazy.
Oh.
So I had the EP launch party, if I remember correctly, the 28th of February.
Yeah.
And then within a few days, we went into lockdown. And then the EP dropped on the 3rd of March. So it would have been like a few days or a week, actually.
So did that, do you feel like that had a massive impact on your promotion, your sales? How did you feel as well, knowing that you just released this Bad Boy EP and then...
You know, it's interesting because I obviously put my heart and soul into the EP and had a lot of plans for what I wanted to do with it, even as small as performing it. Like, it's crazy to me that I dropped an EP, but then I've barely even performed the songs.
It's like the world stopped.
Yeah. So there was a lot of like backtracking that I had to do, but it did affect how I felt creatively because, you know, I remember when we went into lockdown, people were like, oh, this is the only time where we have 24 hours, no excuses, get creative. That's not how creativity works. Creativity works out of the cycle of life, spontaneity, the different experiences you have. And when that's put to a halt, you can't just be creative. Maybe some people can, but for me personally, I can only speak for myself.
Yeah.
I needed that variation in life. That's how I get inspired.
You've hit the nail on the head, because for me, like, if I'm confined to my four walls, I dare you tell me to be creative.
Yeah, exactly. It's just not gonna happen.
Like, I need to see locations, different aesthetic. That really brings something out of me, especially just traveling, going abroad. Like, you'll just be inspired by so many different things. And yeah, I definitely agree with you. It's like everything did, to some extent, come to like a halt. So just in terms of, I guess, like, you know, not being able to perform your songs as you would have done, I imagine there would have been so many things lined up.
Yeah.
And then all of that was just kind of backtracked. I did see that, you know, during the lockdown, you were on Steph London's Instagram Live. You were able to sing one of your songs. And I did see as well that you got a co-sign from Asego. What was that like, being in lockdown and realizing that, right, these people think you're hard? Like,
it was good because you had to like switch it up. So everything that I was doing promotional wise was just on Instagram now. So hopping on Steph London or doing like interviews via IGTV. I feel like IGTV just became like...
It became the thing in lockdown,
It became like... It was good to have it there, but at some point it became the bane of my life because it's like, oh, I want to meet people.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to just talk through a screen. Like, that's not...
Socially connected.
But I had to flip it that way. And so, you know, my management, we just decided, okay, look, just do this. I started doing interviews and stuff like that, ended up on Steph London's live. There were a bunch of lives that I was on as well, like hopping in and out and doing that, just trying to keep myself active. But I learned fast that it wasn't enough and I depleted. And then it was like, all right, I need to reel it back in.
Yeah.
Start from scratch again, because I was losing inspiration, I was losing creativity, and I was losing myself as well, which is the hardest part.
Just on, you know, losing yourself.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people say they get lost in their music, they get lost in the music. How did you manage to get to a place where you were stuck in and really reintegrated with everything that you were aspiring to do with your music and just that continual development?
So, a few things. I think the first thing is, it's okay to stop, take a break, reboot. And then another thing that was so important is like, music is so intertwined with identity. You know, you get into the music industry already have an identity, at least that's the aim. But then you get into it and it's like, okay, but now I need to have an artistic identity. So it's like, you cannot put yourself as, so for example, me. I am more than Emiko, right?
Yeah.
I am more than an artist. I am more than a singer. I laugh, I cry, I like to eat, I like to cook. There was all these things that I was forgetting are the components and makeup of me, because I was so focused on who Emiko should be. And so then what happens is you have this identity clash, and it starts to make you feel like you don't know yourself, but you do. It's just that you just need to take that step back and be like, look, you are more than the music, you are more than these songs, you are more than everything. You are you first and foremost.
Yeah.
And when that sort of clicked, slowly but surely, like, I was getting my life back, and I couldn't tell you I couldn't pinpoint when it happened, but it was just like, honestly, like God, like manifestation, all this stuff, things just started to align again. And if I didn't take that break and I just kept on going, doing all these interviews, like putting on a front, you know, I wouldn't be here today and be able to say, oh yeah, I'm back, like I'm making music, I'm loving it again. And I'm so excited about the music that I'm making. That's how I wanted to feel. And at the time, I didn't feel like that.
I think what you just said there about identity is just like, that is it, because I think so many people, the reason why they get lost, they get frustrated and they stop doing what they're called to do is because they realize they have this calling and a purpose. But what happens is some people get it so twisted that what they do is their identity. And just like you said, it's so much more than that. It's so much more than the fact that you're a singer. You know, you're this artist. And what I did even want to go into just on that point was, you know, I realized that you know, maybe listening to your music, a lot of people will probably say, okay, he's an R&B singer. But if ever, you know, someone really confines you to one genre, how would that make you feel? Because I think when I listen to your music, I see so many different elements to your voice. And I think, you know, when you do limit and confine yourself, it's really hard to look beyond.
No, yeah, I agree. Like even the kind of music I listen to, like my playlist is a mess. Like it's like I see people with like curated playlists and they got like the mood music. My hair is like 1950s, 70s, 80s. You know, it's just like a random, and also genres as well. Like I grew up listening to different genres, like the rasp that you hear in my voice sometimes. That was from listening to rock, or listening to people like Michael Jackson who know when to put on that rasp to give it that grit, to give it that bang. So I take all of these things and I put it into the music, and then people might listen to it and be like, oh, R&B. But behind the scenes, I'd be like, oh, I remember listening to Kings of Leon and they would do this, or like Adele, and then, or Michael Jackson, or I remember when, you know, Whitney would like belt at the right time and then bring it back in. Like all these things that I'm trying to do is from different genres of music. And now with the music that I'm even making now, like it's so, like the influence is just crazy. Like I'm just adding and nitpicking and, you know,
yeah, that's good, man, because you definitely have like a catalogue of all these different artists, and you've definitely taken inspiration from here, there. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think that's why your voice is just so like, there's so much soul, bro. And like when I say I can hear the passion, I can really, like, it comes through, bro. Like even just watching one of your live performances, like, bro, I can't lie, when you have a live show, I'm there, like, because I could feel it. Like that was really good. So in terms of, I guess, you have listened to, you know, the greats like Michael Jackson, Whitney, Brandy, Otis Redding, was that's his name?
Otis Redding, Sam Cooke.
Yeah, them man there. So aside from that, them man there, bro. Aside from that, who's on your playlist right now? Who do you listen to that is fresh today?
Okay, Bella,
she's hard.
Bella, she is hard. Incredible. I've got Evil Eye on repeat. Like I play that song every day to the point where I'm like, I just have to like put my earphones down because I don't want to. I am an aggressive listener to music. If I am attached to a certain song, I will rinse it out, squeeze the juice out of it.
I hear it.
But I'm trying not to do that because I don't want to create this, you know, mindset of, you know, consume, move on. But having said that, like I keep all these music and I pocket them.
That's it.
And what's so crazy about, you know, that whole process of doing that is when I listen to music on repeat for so long, when I then have a break from it and I'm not listening to it as much, maybe like a year goes by and I listen to it again, and it transports me back to all those memories, the time, even the sense of smell, like everything kind of comes together, and it's like it's nostalgic in this crazy way. It's like time traveling.
But yeah, I cannot leave this conversation without telling you that Old School Loving is a jam, bro. Like that song, bro. No, you showed the thing. Like Old School Loving, Old School Loving. Bro, you have to do, bro. That tune there, yeah, that tune there is proper. I like Carefree as well. Are You Down? Are You Down the first song you released?
No, it wasn't. It was the second. But Are You Down actually came about from, as I was saying, Friday Feels. I did a freestyle over Masego's beat.
Yeah.
And then he must have seen it on Twitter, and he was like, oh, yeah. He's like, something like, oh, man's feeling it, or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, with Old School Loving, like that was another. With Old School Loving, that was a song that pretty much wrote itself. Very simple, just the guitar riff. And I knew exactly what I wanted.
You gotta give us something, bro. You gotta give us something.
Old School Loving.
Hey.
When the feeling was something that nothing could compete.
No, I love it. I love it.
So the basis of the song was, I feel like in our day and age, and you can agree with me, you know, the perception of love is withering. When I was growing up, you know, we had those 90s movies where, you know, love was so prevalent in these shows and movies, even though it might have been like fabricated or it was a fantasy. That's kind of what I'm exploring in the song. It's like, was I foolish to believe that this could really be? Is it just a fantasy? Like, we as young people, I feel like we've kind of given up on love and this idea of like relationship.
Yeah.
That's to do with a lot of things. I mean, divorce rates are down as well.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to write a song about how I felt the generation feels.
Yeah.
Like what happened to that old school love? What happened to that stuff we grew up watching, you know?
Hearing you say that, because that's like when I say that song, you can feel so many different things. Like that in itself makes me more like just grateful to listen to that song, because I do agree, like a lot of us have fallen out of love with, you know, these old school traditional things, and we're very just accepting of, you know, the new way of life.
Yeah.
Everything is just open to everything, you know what I'm saying, and a lot has just been stripped back. But yeah, bro, what is coming up for you? Where can people stay connected with what you're doing?
Yeah. So you can stay connected on my Instagram. That's Emiko Music _ EMIKO Music. That's the same for Twitter as well. And then obviously my music is on all streaming platforms. I am working on some music right now that I'm so gassed about. Started working with this collective from West London. I'm from West London.
West London.
Are you
Stand
from
up,
West?
fam. I'm from West, bro.
Where? Oh, Ealing, you said, right?
No. Here still.
Oh, sorry.
W.
You're from Bush?
Yeah.
That's crazy that we've never crossed paths.
Yeah, it's crazy still, but obviously, I think the last few years I was in uni, innit? So I'm literally out of the pandemic was when I came back. So just up in Manchester, but West London, man. I'm happy you're from West London, because
the scene every time it's here, but it just needs a bit of a push.
It is, and every time that you know we find artists who are banging, I feel like they're usually from north or south. So when I was listening to you and then I found out you're from West, I was like, bro, and you're local, like you are local.
Born and raised, man. This is where we are today. It's just local, right?
Yeah,
W12.
man.
But so I'm working with a collective from West London, and we are just like in the studio creating music, like enjoying it again. So I'm excited about what's to come. Again, you know, for me, it's just about jumping back on that train and just staying consistent. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, I love that, man. Consistency, bro. Consistency will just continue to take you to heights that, you know, you never anticipated. And honestly, I'm very excited to be connected to you on this point of your journey, because you're still blooming, you're still blossoming.
Yeah, definitely. I've still got a long
You're definitely
way to
still growing. But I can't wait just to see in a few years how things look for you. And bro, it's just been such a pleasure of mine to be able to interview you today. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Honestly, and yeah, to everyone that's watching, you're locked into the business. I've been your host, Nizar Ashraff, and I'll see you guys soon.